Who's the obstacle character? Anybody have a clue who the obstacle character is? Oh, yes. But
Boo Radley.
Boo Radley, right. And we'll talk about why in a moment. First we're going to see why, and then we'll talk about why. The Scout, again, close in with her, different than we saw Bob Ewell and Atticus. Close in with this, giving an indication there's the personal relationship, that personal interplay, that personal argument or skirmish that's happened between them over the course of the story is resolving now in a very personal way.
Mr. Arthur Bradley.
Totally different than when Bob Ewell, and look, he's behind another person. The protagonist, it clearly shows you he's not the main character. This is who we're experiencing the story through. Stop. Thank you. Okay, so we now have these four characters, these 4 points of view, and there was a reason for splitting them in that particular story. Here's the reason. Atticus is very self-righteous. He's very much against prejudice. And if we stood in his shoes, we would be standing in the shoes of the self-righteous character, who's the main character, going, well, aren't we self-righteous? Aren't we wonderful that we're all against prejudice? And we experience the story, but with no sense of change in ourselves. Harper Lee, who wrote the story, did something very, very clever. Scout, and through her eyes, through her ears, and her seeds, we hear about this boogeyman character named Boo Radley, who lives under the house down the street, you know, and he's this spooky figure who eats little children and, you know, does all these terrible things. He's this very evil, scary guy. We've never seen him. She's never seen him. Nobody's ever seen him. All the other kids talk about him. She buys into it. We buy into it. In fact, we are completely prejudiced against Boo Radley from the get-go. We're suckered into it. Even while we're watching the story of prejudice, we are prejudiced against Boo Radley, and we've never even seen him. We're just accepting hearsay. People that we trust, people that we care about, people we have an emotional attachment to us are telling us this guy's terrible, and so we buy into it. And at the end of the story, it turns out Boo Radley is the one who is actually protecting them from the antagonist, Bob Ewell, who wanted to kill the kids in retribution for Atticus's efforts to save the black man. So he's actually trying. In fact, Boo Radley has been protecting the kids all the time. When they lose something, he brings it up at night when he comes out and leaves it on their doorstep when they've lost something. He watches over them, and if there's any danger there, he's taken care of it in the scenes and protected them times they didn't even know they were in danger. And in the end, he actually physically does it by killing Bob Ewell, and in so doing, has now totally protected the kids, and basically, Bob Ewell fell on his own knife, says the sheriff, you know, and I guess there's no witnesses, so that's the way it is, sort of like that. And they end up letting him on because they know he was just protecting the kids, even though he's the one who killed them, okay? So the thing is that her opinion at the end has changed. And she, and through her we, have realized, maybe not at the conscious level, but subconsciously, that we are all capable of being prejudiced because Harper Lee just made us that way with a little simple hearsay about the local boogeyman. And we didn't realize that he was actually the protector and the guardian for these children. Well, that's what prejudice is. So by splitting it, it's the only way that story could have been done that way. If we were in Atticus's shoes, we never could have gotten that message. At least subliminally, at least subconsciously, we walk away feeling, oh, I guess those that we think that are one way may turn out to be some other way. And that's all that the story is really about in terms of its message.